Hello, you amazing friends. I am so honored to be with Zev Halpern. How you doing, Zev? What's happening in your world?
I'm doing great here in cold Washington, D.C., watching you outside with a short sleeve shirt in the tropics. Makes me want to be there because I do not like the cold. I'm
Oh,
a I'm a hot weather dude. So
oh,
looking
I was just
good.
gonna,
Looks good to
thank
me.
you. I was just going to say as well, Zev, totally by accident, we're both wearing crimson today.
I know we got the red flag up, you know, although it's really it means go ahead.
Yes. Yes. Now, Zev, I just want to ask you, you are an amazing man. You have covered so many decades of working with couples and relationships and everything complex. I just want to ask you, Zev, what have been some of your biggest lessons in 2022 that you'd love to share with us?
Oh, boy, have I had some lessons. I've gotten my butt kicked in 2022 personally, but in terms of lessons about other people, I think I've learned that I've spent a lifetime working with couples, and in a couple are two people. And I've really focused way more these days on working with one person because usually one person is either unhappy, despairing, suffering, wanting to change their situation, wanting to move forward where the other person might be dragging them down. And my whole role is to support that process so that they can get out of this stuck in cement kind of place. And when you're in a relationship or a marriage, not so easy, to
Mm.
just jump out. Economics, and there's a lot of other reasons, but ultimately you're happy and you're only here once. And if you're desperately unhappy, then you need to desperately do something about it. And I've I've really turned my attention to working with somebody who really wants to change, as opposed to two people who may be canceling each other out in some ways. The other person really doesn't want to. They'd be perfectly happy to be the way status quo. Other person doesn't want status quo. They want excitement. They want sex. They want life. They want vibrancy. They want to go out. They don't want to sit there and be somebody's in a kind of a coexistence. They want to surpass existence and get to the happiness and get to the joy. And the joy's been removed. So I do a thing, clarity and readiness makeover, and it's 6 weeks. And I encourage spouses, people who are trying to start their businesses, people who want to improve their relationships, people who want to get in a new relationship, people who are just stuck with big aspirations. Because I would tell people your aspirations, you can get there. You can do your bucket list. You can get your goals met, but you're not going to do it by sitting in your desperation. And you don't have to go jump and running into a scary, out of your comfort zone in a fearful, scary way. There are there are other ways to get out of your comfort zone, doable steps that don't have to scare the life out of you. A lot of you hear you have to get out of your comfort zone. You got to
Yeah.
get out because the only thing that's going to make you happy is if and then you it's going to is you're happy when you get it out of your comfort zone. And these people are scared to death. They've been fearful for a long time. They're unhappy. They've been in desperation. It's not they can't just jump in, out of their comfort zone is a place that provides them some solace and provides them some company and provides them what they need. So what I like to do is support that path, support the path, get some, clear the path, find the baggage. Usually there's trauma
Mm.
associated with people who haven't expressed that trauma. They've never felt that they could trust somebody to really move past that trauma. And so, really, 2022 was a big lesson for me in that I'm moving away in some ways from focusing on the couple themselves to focusing on the person who really wants the help. And that's joyful for me, because if you think I like to be a referee,
Yeah.
I would go into a different profession. I mean, I go into, I go get a license, and I could, sit in the middle of the ring, and I could go in this corner is this person, and it's not what I want to be. I even when I see people right here in this office where I'm sitting, people walk through this door, and I see them. I tell them, I'm not your referee. I'm not going to be the referee. What are the issues? And
Yeah.
if they're both feeling like they want to move past a certain stuck point, I'm more than happy to help them do that. But I am not happy to be a referee, because that is a very unhappy place for Zev Halpern.
Oh,
Although I'm not a bad referee, I have no aspirations to be one. So
yeah. Yeah. Wow. I
I
love it,
think I've
Zev.
learned that. I've learned that this year, and I've also, this year has been a year of health issues, loss for me, and I've, instead of um, sitting in a pity puddle and drowning in my own pity puddle, I've learned that there's power in loss, that there's power in it's a power source. And luckily for me, I found the perspective to be able to do that. And it's not an easy thing after you suffer a loss in your life, or you have some kind of medical complication that gives you that big scare. Um, but I guess sometimes the scare is a lot better, than the alternative, and that's one thing I can get with, because sometimes we all look at ourselves and we go, why did it have to happen to me, and why did it have to happen, and our lives are a winding road.
Yeah.
It's a winding road. There are lots of songs about it, many songs. It's true.
Yeah.
Loss is a winding road. Health is a winding road. And I think trying to reach your goals. My goal is to help you get out of the winding road and to clear the path, so that when you go up the mountain, you shed the baggage. And as you go up, 400 pounds on your back, it's going to take you a long time to get up Mount Fuji. You're just not going to get up there. You have to shed it, and you have to do it with support, someone who you trust and recognize is in your corner. And that's been what I've learned in 2022. I've helped many people who had no one in their corner, and
Yeah.
I became the person in their corner, and um, help them with their shortcomings, help them with their attitude. Their attitude was horrible. Those attitudes came from years before, other people's voices, other people telling them what they're not going to be, and who they're going to be, or and how they're going to be, and that sticks with people. And those are life ruiners. And if you're lucky enough to meet somebody who really, an empathic person who wants to help you and make you and get you to to your aspirations, then there's big luck. You're a lucky person, and I like to think that people that find me are lucky, because one thing I really do is I care about people, and I care about their well-being, and I don't want them to be in fear. I want them to be in power, to stand in their own power, and to recognize that they weren't put in this world to be subservient, to other people. They were put in this world to find their place and to soar, and that's what I help them do. And in 2023, that's what that's going to be my major focus. If I'm working with two, I'm going to find the one who really wants to move, and I'm going to help them move. And the cost of that for them might be difficult sometimes, because they might have to look at their lives for what it really is,
Yeah.
and say, is it I'm only here once, so
Yeah.
am I going to be in this prison, or am I going to all of a sudden soar to my wildest dreams and find them whether it's slow or whether it's a fast process. But it's a process that they have to begin, and and once they begin it, I provide the support for them to be able to get there, because that's what I want for them. I want them to call me at some point or send me a text that says, "I don't need you anymore, Zev. I don't. I'm ready. I'm rolling on my own. I don't need the support you were giving me because I've learned to fend for myself, and I found the path that I want to be on, and I'm going there because you believed in me, and now it's time for me to believe in me and to do this by myself." And I've had that, and it's kind of it's difficult, those kinds of relationships, but that's what I want. That's the best result that I could get is a text or a letter that says we don't need it anymore.
Yeah.
I'm headed in the right direction. I'm moving. I'm moving. I have joy. I found my place, or I'm about to find my place, and it trickles down to the people who know them. That joy trickles down, as does the opposite of joy, which there are many words for it. I don't even want to use the labels because joy is such a better place to be.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely.
and,
Absolutely. And just the thing as well, I want to say a big thank you to everyone watching. Or a few shares, actually. If you've just come in, like, share, comment, please connect with Zev and myself over on LinkedIn. And a few things. We've got Dwayne Murrell with us. Good seeing you, Dwayne. Dwayne says, that's great, but it takes more than one coach, and you don't build a business, you build people for a business. I love it. We've got a bunch of people saying it's terrific. Big thank you. Pardon me if I can't read all your comments. StreamYard. And Eric H makes a great point. Eric H says, it's best to be fluid from your situation, not constantly though. Sometimes I hover in my comfort zone, going back to that. But most of the time I work outside my comfort zone. The tough part for my marriage was just to start a business, and she eventually saw the benefits of it. It's fantastic. We also got Mike Carlton with us on Facebook. We love you, Mike. And we've got Nicole Oden with us. So just come in, smash that like, sharing, comment, and appreciate your winners. And the other thing I was going to say to you as well, Zev, that I think is very fascinating, right? I love what you said before about comfort zones. And what I find is little changes are the best places to get started, because you're right. Telling someone to totally change their life isn't going to happen. If you're going to change one little thing, I find that cascades onto more impacts. Tell us what you think about little changes, Zev.
Well, I mean, it's been there are wonderful books about, and I've read some of them lately, because that whole issue of change something. Don't try to change everything. Change one thing. Change 1%. Change 5%. Wow, you're going to be. You want to lose weight. Oh, you want that? I want to lose 35 pounds. Lose 5.
Yeah.
Lose 3. Lose 5. You'll lose 10. You'll lose 15. But you got to lose the first 5, and you have to set your sights on the doable, not the impossible. I mean, look, we all love to think that we can do the impossible, but why not why not focus on the doable? And I love when people, when I'm able to say that to somebody, just lose 5 pounds, or just do these 2 things. Forget about the rest of it. We're going to get to the rest of it.
Yeah.
And then if you look at the graph or you look at the continuum, you'll see they've moved. Amazing. They've budged, and when they realize that they've moved a little bit, there's something very gratifying that they've never been able to do, because they've been trying to change their whole world. You can't change your whole world in 5 seconds. You have to get under it, and you got to start. And so just start, and don't set your sights on the 100%. Set it on 5, and you'll be at a big number soon.
It's funny you say that, because I was actually thinking about this morning. So a bit of, again, I don't want to talk too much about me, but a bit of backstory. I'm usually a fit and healthy guy. During the few years of lockdowns, I put on about 20 kilos, about 45 pounds, right? Talking American, right?
You weren't alone. You weren't alone.
Yeah.
You weren't alone.
Even though I'm not alone, it's still my problem, right? So thank you for being nice to me. But the problem was is that it was really bad. I developed a lot of health problems, and the thing that I found was amazing. I was actually looking in the mirror today. I've pretty much lost it all. I now just got really another 5 pounds to go, and I'm happy. Right? I was actually looking at
Way
this
to
like, oh,
go.
I just got to lose another
Way to
5 pounds,
go.
and you're right, because let's say you want to lose 40 pounds or 20 kilos, or you want to change a relationship that's not working out. I find by just changing one thing, it starts that process, right? And you're right.
Absolutely.
It's about kicking off the process, isn't it?
It's about the ball rolling. The ball doesn't roll, nothing happens. Get the ball rolling, get it going. Let's get moving and get support. You don't have to do it alone. It doesn't have to be. And if people in your life aren't supporting you, then you can get some. And there are people, not just myself, there are many people who can help you move, move the ball down the court. So, if you don't have to be at the 2-yard line, just get there. Just keep making that forward progress. Progress. You're going to score. You're going to score.
Yeah.
And it's been that way for me personally, professionally. That's the way it works. And I think you brought up a point that's so huge and so important for people who want to see a different life for themselves. That start small, get past the initial 5%. You're going to find that it's sure feels good to have moved a little bit, and you're going to want to move more.
Yeah.
And anybody who tells you that you have to just rush out and leave your comfort zone and jump in there, don't listen to them. Yeah, you have to leave your comfort zone, but you can do it in a supported fashion so that it doesn't have to scare the dickens out of you. You don't have to be, you're scared enough.
Yeah.
Someone should be supportive of you and create doable steps and reward you and yourself for doing it.
On a funny note, and this is pre-Lassie, right? Years ago, about 10 years ago, pre-Lassie, right? Pre-Lassie. I was in a relationship that wasn't working out, obviously, so I met Lassie some years later. But what was interesting is that I was with a lady who was very much all talk, no action, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tell you what you want to hear, not do any action. And I wasn't happy, and I started winning by making slight changes. I remember I just started holding her accountable. So I didn't change anything. I didn't walk out on her or do anything weird. I just started holding her accountable. And within 2 weeks, she ended the relationship, and I felt fantastic. And I just held her accountable. It's like, look, you said this, I need it done, right?
Accountability is a pretty serious thing.
It was only one thing, though. The thing was only change one little thing. All I'm going to do is just hold you accountable. That's it. I'm not going to do anything else. And that created all that change I needed in 2 weeks. And then she left, and it's like, well, good for you. There you go. I'm done with you anyway.
Then you can put your freedom shirt on.
Yeah, there you go.
Exactly.
Now, I was just going to say a few shares. We've got Eric H. Eric H. has got a fantastic Facebook group. Yeah, it was pretty crazy during the whole lockdowns. I really got sick. We've got Mags Alden with it. We love you, Mags. Dwayne Murrell, we love your drive. We've got Mark Davis. Hello, Mark from Toronto. And if you just come in, hit that like, share, and comment. And by the way, if I don't see your comment, it's not because I'm ignoring you. The software doesn't show me everything. So I'm using StreamYard, so my apologies for that. Now, Zev, I just want to ask you, what's your advice to everyone to have the best 2023 ever?
I think they have to decide what it is they want. And, not in resolution form, not, so that they can be in the usual, I made a resolution. And, I saw a joke the other day. It showed all these gym owners, with all this cash in the first week of January. They had a ton of cash, but I don't know what happened after the drop off. So I think it's important, if you had goals that you didn't reach in 2022 and you want to reach them, then just follow the format that we've been talking about here. Make a move, get the ball rolling, set your sights on accomplishment. Because when you accomplish one thing, you'll be able to accomplish all the things that you want to do. And also stand in your power, stand in your strength. Everybody has a strength. I've always been an athlete, and I was really a really good softball player and a fast pitch. I was a fast pitcher, and I used that as a leaping board. to move myself into bigger and greater things, because I always felt good on the mound. I felt good, striking those guys out. I felt good that was a place where I knew who I was, and I felt at one, with myself. Not in other places, I just heard those old voices of people telling me what I could do and what I couldn't do and how I should do it. If you're listening to counsel, make sure it's good counsel, because there's a lot of bad counsel out there, and be careful who you listen to, and let it be somebody who is empathic and cares about you and cares about your future, and doesn't have some kind of investment in if all of a sudden you succeed, how do they look? And they'll work hard to make sure you don't succeed. As sorry as I am to say that, it could be your best. It could be your best friend. It could be your family. It's time to, you're an individual, and you have to act like an individual, and you have to drop some of those voices. They're not helping you. And listen and create a new voice, the voice of you, so that people can hear you and see you. And they will, when you're standing in that power stance. They'll see you, but you got to get there. Got to do a little work. You don't have to drive yourself crazy. Like, again, just do 5%.
Brilliant, Zev. The other thing I was going to ask you as well, Zev, you made some amazing points. I just want to ask you, for anyone listening, be it the recording or here live, smash that like, share, and comment, and thank you all. How can people work with you, Zev, and what's the process?
Well, you can certainly find me on LinkedIn, Zev Halpern on LinkedIn, and all the information you need is in that profile. You can also go to zevhalpern.com. Pretty easy, zevhalpern.com, or send me an email, zev@zevhalpern.com, and I will respond. That's for sure. I'll be very responsive, and we'll have a talk. Let's just talk and see what's going on with you. And if I can help you, I'll tell you. If I can't help you, I'll tell you I can't. You can depend on that honesty.
Zev, that's why we love you, Zev. I just want to say a big thank you. Just before we finish up, like, share, comment, everyone. Zev, can we please get some closing thoughts from you?
It's really a wish. I wish, for everybody who's listening, that they move beyond their resolutions, and that they recognize themselves as the individual and competent individual that they could be, and take steps to stand in your own power, and to hear the voice that's yours, and drop the old voices, and you'll find joy, and your world will be a happier place, and the people around you who love you will be happier too.
Brilliant.
That's my wish.
Brilliant. Zev, thank you so much to everyone watching. Big thank you. Happy 2023. And everyone, please connect with Zev and myself over on LinkedIn. Zev, love your work, everyone. Bye, everyone. Zev, you are amazing.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye, everybody.